From the Tarot Minors of Mebes and the Martinist School of Nicholas Gears. The Ace of Cups, the Sephirotheta, the Crown, Radiation. Traditional title, Existentia. The image of the Arcana presents a cup that must be imagined as full. It cannot be empty, as it is the headquarters of the divine light that, filling it in the last degree of swords, determined the passage of the initiated disciple of swords to the suit of cups. The law of cups is the law of transcendental life, the law of primordial light permeating the universe, of the Holy Spirit, of the Mother of the world. For a World Cup disciple, the whole world presents itself as an immense cup prepared to receive the divine light and needing it. The disciple himself, too, is prepared to accept with gratitude everything that comes from above. This acceptance, however, is different from that of coins. Now he knows that everything is good, everything is necessary, everything has a higher purpose. No one and nothing will be destroyed, because everything is sacred, everything is part of the divine life, of the family of good. God, good God. This internal state provides the disciple with a great harmony. His cup overflows with peace and light, and he yearns to be able to transmit them to other beings, because now he realizes there are thirsty cups everywhere. He therefore returns to the external world to teach, heal, comfort, to continue living in that world, however, considering himself just a receptacle, a channel, to transmit to others the divine force. That is the expansion of cups. Lived in its superior aspect, the suit experience of cups corresponds to the state of sanctity of the religious conception. This experience can sometimes manifest itself as the ecstasy that is known to Catholic mystics and is a state of exaltation accompanied by gestures and exclamations. It can also manifest itself by enstasy, the opposite of ecstasy, consisting of deep withdrawal into itself. The latter is closer to the Orthodox egregore and also to the Eastern Samadhi. Enstasy is characterized by complete immobility, and the experience that is being lived can be perceived only by sight. Traditionally, cups are placed on the stems of the swords, as in this figure. On that figure, this one. Being placed on the stems of swords means that only after having crossed the stage of spiritual growth of swords does the disciple acquire the ability to open up, or symbolically become a cup for the genuine spiritual light, and to transmit it to others. He who has not yet burned his personal elements, who did not go through the purifying sufferings and the trials of swords, is not yet able to serve as cup for the truth, because in the passive state, receptivity is necessary. His conscience does not rise fully and automatically to the higher spiritual plane, the plane of truth, but remains open to mixed influences and, at times, involutive manifestations of the various astral planes. He is impressed with the lying charms of the plane, taking everything as true revelations. All Christian saints speak of these dangers, and H.P. Blavatsky also mentions them in her little book, The Voice of Silence. These are false cups, and the overflow of their content can cause great damage, spreading false teachings, creating false teachers and false prophets as a consequence of false sanctity. The Two of Cups, the Sephira Hokmah, Wisdom, traditional title, Unicity. And that's there. The image shows two standing cups, one next to another, and above them the caduceus. One of the cups symbolises the teacher, that is, the disciple initiate of the swords, who has now returned to the world to teach. The other is the student. These beings, aspiring to the same objective target, are attuned and harmonised, resembling the coiled serpents wrapped around the caduceus rod. The student's full cup means he has received as much as he could assimilate. The more light the teacher transmits to the student, the more he or she fills their own cup, because the cup of all one, overflowing, fills the master's bowl again. It is communion between two units. Through their individual reaction to the truth received from the master, the student unconsciously enriches the master. Because for this it is very important to know how the student reacted to the truth, what aspects were assimilated, and how they have transformed their consciousness. Studying the student's individual reaction, the master discovers new aspects of the truth, which makes their own awareness wider and deeper. So the greater the circle of students, the greater the enrichment of consciousness of the master, because his own light adds to the light from others. This communion between the master and the students is possible only after the light that everyone receives is the same. The difference is only in their reaction that takes place. This is an important aspect of unicity which characterises the present arcanum. The master's cup was first to open to light, and he receives it directly. The student receives through an influx from the master, but the source of light is the same. Therefore, the light received by the student, although transmitted, is genuine. There is, however, a case where the student can also receive the light directly. It is when master and student, mystically united, are therefore side by side, under the illuminating light of the caduceus. There is, however, a case where the student can also receive the light directly. It's possible that the student has reached only the internship of coins, or even that he or she is still on the path of initiation, and has not yet harmonized his personality. Even so, being side by side with his master at the moment of receiving the higher influx, the student rises, symbolically speaking, through the central column of the Sephirotic system to the plane that corresponds to the metaphysical essence of the suit of cups. It is necessary to underline the difference that exists between an initiated coins instructor and a master of cups. It influences the fact that the former is due to the prestige of his own personality, his authority. It's the Magister Dixit. A coins initiate can give the student a little bit of their magic power, experience and knowledge, or enable them to be a part of their own conscience and realizing power, or to make the same as a gift. Naturally, in this case, it is not possible to speak in equal terms, nor return to the instructor what was received by the student. Here the student partially reflects the instructor, and for the student, the instructor is the only source of light, strength and knowledge that is accessible. A cup master gives nothing of himself, but only transmits what he receives from his superior, and his authority consists of the great reverence felt before that superior force. It should be noted that a human being who reached the stage of cups therefore becomes a master or cup initiate. In the Russian Orthodox Gregore he is called starets, in India guru. In the mystical orders of dervishes, she and other branches of the spiritual path, by other names yet, by the dervishes, she. Cups is the suit of bliss, of the laws that govern receptivity to the superior emanations, of adaptation and transmission of the received. The first law of this suit is that the master's cup always remains full, as he may also receive from all students everything that is in their cup, which is always from the superior. The nature of cups creates a very special relationship between the master and his student. All men as children of God are equal. It is its basic human equality. But there is another type of equality, esoteric equality before the spirit, when both master and student receive directly the same ray of light. However, as a personality, they naturally cannot be the same, because in this case there would be no master, and all is one. The cup student is a conditional term given to each one who seeks the light of these men of God. A student can be an ordinary person, already sensitive and attracted by the magnetic streak of the master. Remaining a certain time in his aura, he takes with him a fragment of his light, and in this sense becomes his disciple. However, there are also true disciples in the occult esoteric sense of the word. They are the ones who chose and who follow this master permanently. And then we have some who are listed as examples. Motovalov as a disciple of Saint Seraphim Sarov. Alyosha in relation to Zosima. Vivekananda in relation to Ramakrishna. In such cases, the time between the teacher and the disciple is formed by great love, and the master's prayer can realize between them oneness of spirit. The Three of Cups. The Sephira Bina, Reason. Traditional title, Infinity. The image shows a cup placed on top of the other two, forming an ascending triangle. This arcanum is a reflection, in relation to the colour of the cups, of the Sephira Bina, Sephira of universal reason, which transmits a low-level impulse that comes from Kita. The Sephira Hokmah, the first one to receive this impulse, was transformed in the cups in an individual form, a cup, both of the maestro, the master, and the student. The second degree of the cups was related to the donor unit and the recipient, that is, the teacher and the student, both receiving from the fountain of light. The third arcanum says about the fountain symbolized in the third cup, which could be considered as neutralization in the direction up of the binary. The binary teacher-student, neutralized in the third. This is the dynamic cycle, Yod, He, vow, second He, in the process of the initiation of the cups. In the teacher's cup, the Yod, and in the cup of the student, He, passes from one cup to the other, and in the blending, a new cup, vow, is created, predominating over the other, and at the same time feeding them. It is the realization of a new unit, the second He, which is a new step in the way of the initiation of the cups. All the egregores and all the worlds in the life of the One and the Three of Cups, in reality, symbolizes the living water of the divine bliss that composes its waves. For the disciple of this degree, the universe is the manifestation of the one life. The Oriental esotericist expresses that Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva are not separated, but are three aspects of the Divine One. In the states of cups or swords, they are perceived as separate or as consecutive states. In the state of the world cups, they are merging, solving the problems of the terrestrial concept of good and evil of their relativity. The infinite is the merger of good and evil, as relative concepts, and as a sole manifestation of one life. The third title of the third arcanum of cups, Infinity, points to the ontological nature of the third cup, that is, the incommensurability of the divine bliss which reveals itself as transcendental life, the universal mother from which everything comes and to which everything returns. The disciple who came to live this state has already overcome their karma and personal karmic responsibility. He does not judge anybody else because he sees the cause and reason of each weakness. The only thing that is important to him is that the cup of the soul of the human being is able to receive a fragment of light, however small. In the story of the life of Jesus, the fishermen, uneducated men, were sensitive to his words because, despite their imperfections, their cups were in a condition of being receptive to the light, whilst the cup of Nicodemus, an astrally pure man and an ignored disciple of Jesus, remained closed until the resurrection of the teacher. Shall I do one more? No. More later.